Alrighty fellas, yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski. Welcome back to the PokeMMO Stream Recap, your daily source of PokeMMO information, news, gameplay, and just what the community is generally discussing. I'm going to be continuing my Frillish shunt today, going for one of these shiny Jellicents, hoping for a male since it has that minty green color versus the female has the purplish color. Both are really good shinies. I wouldn't be disappointed by any gender of the Frillishes, but I kind of lean towards the minty green. Minty green shinies are just a little rarer than purple. I kind of have a lot of purple shinies, to be totally honest. So hoping for that minty green. But that's really just a consistency day. A consistency day about shiny hunting and just yapping and chatting about the game, seeing what's going on, trying to get back into that little bit of a quantity year for me to work towards the shiny leaderboard. Now that the shiny leaderboard has been so reworked for PokeMMO, if you don't know, there's a website called PokeMMO Zone where you can actually head over to it and check out the leaderboards and go input your own information, your own data, and log your own shinies. I am a big advocate. I'm not sponsored by this website by any means. There's not really any incentive to be, but it's a fantastic website that is giving us the first best unofficial shiny leaderboard for PokeMMO. It's not perfectly tallied. Players have to go input their own information, so there is a little bit of a trust system there, but if you care about Pokemon, if you care about shiny hunting, if you want to log your own shinies, I really recommend you do it. I'm currently ranked 49 at the moment for total shinies in the game, which is pretty cool, but go knock me off that leaderboard by going to go log your own shinies. I'm sure there's other people who have more shinies that just haven't logged their own stats. So I love to see myself get knocked down, motivate me to keep climbing, but the goal is to one day be ranked 10 in either total points or quantity. I think it's probably better for me to go for quantity. If I could be a top 10 shiny hunter one day in Pokemon in either category, that would feel pretty cool. It's a little arbitrary. Is it a little funny? Yeah, it is. But you know what? It's also a lot of fun. So we're gonna get back to shunting Frillish today / Jellicent, just simple times 5. This is a free shunt. If you want to follow along, do it with me. This is a free shiny hunt over in Driftvale City. I further worked on my Unova storyline guide today. I recorded a lot of that this morning before the stream started. I'm able to focus and get way more done. Did you see the Finneon stuff in the GTL? Is the Finneon collector back? This is a classic meme. This guy has been doing, I haven't even checked it yet. I'm guessing there's 60, 80 plus shiny Finneons listed on the GTL right now. That's my guess. This guy has been doing this for like 2 years, like a really long time. Let's go check. Let's go see what's going on. Yep, there they are. So let's sort by shiny, Finneon, and how many are listed? Let's see. Dude, he even leveled them all to 100. That's what's so crazy. Now, these are not his OTs, but like this, we don't know who it is. There is some player who infamously loves shiny Finneon. There's only 50. He actually has more. There's only 50 shiny Finneons right now listed. He leveled them all to level 100. Are they all EV trained? They're all EV trained. This guy loves Finneon. I don't get it. I'm happy. You know, Pokemon is all about finding the Pokemon you enjoy, and I respect him so much for that. He found out that he loves Finneon, and I respect the hell out of that. But this guy basically buys every single shiny Finneon in the game that is fucking caught. And I know he has more than 50, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I feel like we've seen him with 60 or so previously. This is pretty extreme. This guy is very talented. You actually run from a shiny, the game will warn you. It's really hard to accidentally run from a shiny. If you try to run from a shiny in Pokemon, the game will say, hey, you're trying to run from a shiny. Are you sure you want to do that? And you have to click a confirmation screen that says yes. So that was one of the best quality. Dude, I remember before that, you easily could. That was a quality of life update that happened that, in my opinion, was one of the best quality of life updates in PokeMMO. I'm a big fan of difficult shunting. PokeMMO shunting is difficult enough. We don't have to have people accidentally running from shinies. That's too brutal. Yeah, if you zone out, don't worry about it. It'll give you a confirmation. Hey, there's a few settings you can implement that make it really hard as well, or harder. I almost ran from a shiny once, and it was because of one setting. Mute audio when unfocused. I had this selected on, and I was alt tabbing back and forth watching anime, and I clicked run on my shiny Celio because there was no shiny noise, no sound effect, nothing, because I had this clicked on. So make sure to have this turned off if you are someone who is a multitasker, which most people shiny hunting are probably multitasking. So I'm excited to react to some Pokemon content today, some videos, as well as there is some custom Pokemon music that I know people have been making, which is kind of a good meme. So we'll see what we get into today. I'm going to continue shiny hunting and yapping as per usual. Thanks for joining, and welcome back to another Pokemon stream recap. I really like hearing these real experiences so other people don't feel like they're so lost. And I was the same way when I was starting out, man. Pokemon is a really, really difficult game to get into the end game for, which is why we see some people, fail, right? Huddy said, I've been losing so much money trying to get into flipping. I just don't price check thoroughly enough, and I think it's a crazy deal, and then I have to relist it weeks later. I also think, to be fair, Huddy, I will give you, and that's like, I'm not trying to like be easy on you, it's just honest. I think it's a hard time to get into flipping. I think right now the market is slower when it comes to good IV Pokemon and like a lot of the things that you would be flipping, right? I think it might be one of the harder times to get into flipping, in my personal opinion, which is unfortunate. I think I would wait for the summertime to get into flipping. Right now, I recommend doing consistent money-making methods. Ditto farming, gym reruns, trainer reruns. The absolute like trifecta of consistent money. Maybe berry farming if you enjoy that, right? The trifecta of consistent money making, and then just save, stack up your capital, and then maybe try flipping in the summertime when Pokemon gets way more popular in the summertime. I don't know if it's just teachers off work, schools off, or kids off school. I don't know what it is. Combination of those things. I don't know. But Pokemon tends to get more popular in the summertime, so keep an eye out for that. I think that's when like things kind of. They also usually get an update in the summertime, to be fair. So it's usually like updates throughout October, December, January, February, like the event season, and then we usually get like 3 event season big updates, and then like 1 big update in the summertime, and then like maybe a small update on the way to event season, sort of thing, to prepare for that. Is Payday Meowth good for farming as a beginner? Don't really have anything else. I don't recommend it. It's not. It depends. Like if you don't have anything, it's fine. Payday farming is fine. It's not a method I would recommend. But if you just want to make consistent Pokeyen, what I'll say is I wouldn't do payday farming for more than a handful of hours. I think payday farming has been super phased out. It's just been power crept. Payday farming was great. Even like 3 or 4, the problem is 3 or 4 years ago, it was like, okay, that's the lowest level money making method you should be doing is like payday farming. It's like 120k an hour. That's payday with pickup as well. If you aren't doing pickup, it's like 60k an hour. It's terrible. But 3-4 years ago, it was like, okay, payday pickup farming is kind of a good AFK brain off money making method if you want to watch movies, watch TV shows, and whatever. I would recommend just ditto farming. Ditto farming is pretty chill nowadays with just with the repetition of it all. I think ditto farming, you only need Hoenn done and then 1 level 100 Pokemon, a Smeargle, right? Catching Smeargle, right? Or whatever you want to do for that strat, right? But like you really only need a Catching Smeargle and Hoenn done for that. Is 210k profit per hour all right? Yes, that's great. I think for beginners in PokeMMO, I think, and it depends what you mean by beginners. Okay, the honest answer is beginners. Let's classify each type of player and how much money I would recommend you be making per hour. Please only take this as a recommendation. If you're making less than that and it makes you happy, ignore everything I say. I'm just here to give my personal opinions, feedback, etc. My personal opinions and feedback have nothing on your own personal enjoyment in the game. That's what's most important, okay? So let's classify beginner. A beginner player is someone who has less than 1 storyline done. Maybe like 1 storyline done, let's say. I don't think a beginner should be worried about making Pokeyen for the most part. If you want to, you can, obviously, but I would strongly recommend, I guess beginner is less than 1. If you have 1 storyline done, you can make money. I think with less than, if you're not even done the first storyline, I wouldn't worry about making Pokeyen. If you have 1 done, let's classify beginner as less than 1 storyline. Makes it cleaner. So less than 1 storyline is a beginner, right? I wouldn't worry about making Pokeyen. You can go do things like catching, it depends on what region. The problem is when you have less than 1 storyline done, it massively depends on what region you're in. In Kanto, you could catch Abras. In Hoenn, you could catch Nintedas. In Johto, I don't know what you do. Maybe payday pickup. I don't even know. I have no idea. Just wait until you complete a region. Sinnoh, I don't know, bro. You can't even payday pickup there because there's no drop tables for pickup in Sinnoh. Unova, just complete 1 region, okay? Once you get 1 region done, you can do tons of things from EV training, XP training. If you're in Hoenn, you can Ditto farm. If you can farm those other mons better. If you're in Unova, you can Flame Orb farm. Like, there's so many things, right? So beginner, don't worry about Pokeyen. Intermediate player, which is 1 to 5 storylines done, and then maybe a little bit after that. You kind of have beginner, intermediate, mid-game, which is kind of the same as intermediate, but we're going to classify them differently. So intermediate is, let's say you have 1 to 5 storylines done. If you have 1 to 5 storylines done, I'd be looking to make minimum 150k per hour. I wouldn't recommend doing money making methods for money making only if it's making less than 150k an hour. But Sinnoh's fossil, that's true. But you kind of need high level mons for fossil farming, so it kind of easy to complete the Sinnoh region again, but that's true. Fossil farming is great in Sinnoh at Turnback Cave. But so for intermediate players, 150k Pokeyen per hour, I would say, is the minimum. Unless you're doing a method like Flame Orb Heatmore farming is a good example. Flame Orb Heatmore farming usually makes around 100 to 120,000 Pokeyen per hour. I have guides on these methods. If you just Google Flame Orb Heatmore farming, I have guides on these, by the way. But that will usually make around 120k per hour, which is not amazing Pokeyen per hour, but you have your shiny hunting. That's a method where, like, you're shiny hunting, getting like 800 encounters per hour, which is close to the 1,000 you would get without even making money, right? So to get 800 encounters per hour and be shiny hunting is awesome, which is very different from like you don't want to XP train and shiny hunt at the same time. Most of the time, you want to just do the fastest XP training spot, because that when you're XP training or EV training, you're fighting every single horde, and that like halves your encounters per hour, if not less. If you do 1,000 encounters per hour doing ×5 hordes shiny hunting, you end up getting like 400 per hour if you're XP training or EV training, right? So things like that. So intermediate player, look for like 150k. Mid-game player, which is all 5 regions done, but maybe you don't have a big stack of capital, you're looking at fossil farming, Ditto farming. You're looking at like 200k plus an hour. So beginner player, don't worry about it. Mid-game player, 150k an hour. Intermediate, 150k. Mid-game, which is Gen 5 or all 5 regions done, I would say is 200k an hour is what you want to shoot for. It doesn't have to be minimum, but like maybe like 180k. 200k is what you would shoot. 200k plus for sure. And then once you get to end game, maybe even mid game, you could be shooting for 300k an hour, which is like gym reruns, a good trainer rerun, Elite Four stuff, etc., breeding for profit. But when you get to end game, I think the minimum end game profit per hour I try to shoot for is like 300k. It's like gym reruns, breeding for profit, flipping, keeping track of what are like hot in-demand Pokemon and catching those, like Torkoals, for example, right now. Talked about those recently. Endgame becomes a bit more like the later you get into PokeMMO, the more you have to like jump between money-making methods. When you're an intermediate to mid-game player, you can just sit at Ditto for 20 hours and make consistent, decent Pokeyen. But if you're an endgame player, you gotta, okay, today I'm gonna breed Spirit Tombs for profit because they changed tiers. Then I'm gonna breed Torkoals. Then I'm actually gonna look at, okay, what's the most used Pokemon? What's being used in Endgame right now to counter Spirit Tomb because it's fucking tearing your belly. Like, you have to like really think a lot more. The more endgame you get, the more you're thinking. And every single day, when you realize that every single day you're changing your money-making method depending on what the game is doing, depending on what the market looks like, and depending on what the players are doing, I feel like that's when you know you're at endgame, is honestly a good way to put it. It's a great question. Do you think there will ever be a reward/incentive for completing the Alpha Dex in PokeMMO? It's honestly a really good question. I think it's really cool that in PokeMMO, completing your Pokedex is one of the most beneficial things you can do. You don't have to get legendaries, by the way, but completing your Pokedex gets you Mount Silver, which unlocks you a ton of stuff and unlocks you one ability patch in each region, which is free Pokeyen. Mount Silver is obviously insane. We can go over the quick, like, best XP training spot in the game, some of the best EV training spots, the best shiny hunting spot for Larvitar, very demanded shiny. You get a static Alpha Tyranitar spawn, which is like 600k. You get one of the best moneymakers in the Red Reef fight. Like, you get tons of stuff from doing Mount Silver. It's crazy. Mount Silver is like, it's beautiful. We also have like an end game zone. Mount Silver is the end game spot to hang out at, which is really cool, honestly. Now, completion reward for Alpha Dex. The only skepticism I have with it, the problem with completing the Alpha Dex is that it's not as much of an achievement as complete Pokedex is. Complete Pokedex, you have to catch the Pokemon in the wild and get caught OT, right? For the Alpha Dex, if you have the other Pokemon as caught OT, you can actually just go breed the Alpha, right? So if I have like Charmander, for example, caught OT in my normal Dex, I can just go buy an Alpha Charizard and rebreed it, and that will get, and then level it up, and that will give me the alpha dex. I kind of do want to go for the alpha dex completion at some point. It's weirdly expensive because you have to buy the starters, which are like, I think 15 mil a piece right now. Which is a little sickening. Like, this is, oh, I looked up, I was like, wait a minute. Okay, alpha, there we go. The cheapest Charmander is 12 mil. The cheapest Bulbasaur. Let's see if we do like Ivysaur or something. Venusaur maybe. Maybe those are cheaper. Not really. Yeah, these are insane. Dude, this was one of the biggest mistakes that I made in PokeMMO financially. Wait, that's cool. I bought the Alpha Dex for like 70k from a service. How does that even... Because wouldn't you have to breed them? You can't just like... You can't trade them back and forth, right? That wouldn't work, right? That's an interesting idea. You can trade them? Would it just give them... Does it give them... No way. You can just trade them? Does it give you caught OT on them? Wait, could I go buy an alpha like Nidoran off the GTL right now and log that as alpha OT? Oh, wait, I gotta go test this. You can buy anything? I thought you had to at least rebreed them. I have to go test this right now because that'd be crazy. Let's do... Alpha Kangaskans, I'm pretty sure are super cheap. I thought you'd have to at least rebreed them. I could be mistaken. That makes sense that the alpha system would work like that. Sure, this one. Boom. Yeah, I'm gonna throw, let's check before. I'm guessing I have to throw it my party first or whatever, but let's go check just in case. Kangaskhan. Okay, that makes sense. That's fine. Let's throw this in here for a sec. Go grab it. I feel like you have to rebreed them, but I could be wrong. Alpha Kangaskhan in my party, okay? It just what? That's all you gotta do? What? Yeah, okay. This is what, that's so weird. This is why you, what the fuck? Thank you for that heads up, Louis. I didn't know you could just do, what? That's so weird. Yeah, this is why there kind of can't be a reward for the Alpha Pokedex. Finish it before they fix it. I kind of might. Does this become our challenge for the day, chat? Is this our new goal? That's so crazy. You don't even have to rebreed is insane. Okay, let's fucking get, okay, quick guys, Pidgeotto, Spear. I don't think it's a bug. I think they just like don't care about, I don't think I'm abusing a bug. I assume they just don't care about the Alpha Dex. There's no reward for it. It's really just a completionist thing, I guess, but there's not really a reason to do it. That's the other, there's not really a reason to do it aside from psychos like me who just want, like, I'm gonna buy this for 10k. Boom. Does that log into my, let's close the Dex and reopen it. That's so funny. Okay, we're starting today at 200. We started at 239. 239 caught alphas. Let's see how high we can get today, chat. We can do a quick breed for profit on that. I needed Growlithe and Growlithe were like 90k a piece, but this Arcanine was like 28k. So let's see if we can do a breed for profit here. Yeah, so it's 28. I'm gonna calculate it. We'll calc the cost of this breed. 28k so far. I might even just try to put nature on this if I can find a compatible breeder. And then that way, because Adamant Arcanine is really, really good right now in NU. If you go to NU, it's the second most used Pokemon. 52% win rate, 31% usage rate. That's pretty crazy. Let's do Alpha, Field, Egg Group. I could go for 31 attack, but I'm just going to go for like 20 plus here, 20 plus. Oh, I kind of look for nature. If we're looking for nature, we'll do 20 plus in those stats. And then do 131. Nature Adamant. Gender male. Search like this. What's the cheapest? 50k there. We do this. It's boom, 52k. It's not great. It's not great. What's the other one look like? Let's see the different stats. This one is better because we can high roll. We're going to grab this one. So we're going to grab that's plus 50k. And then we're paying for one Everstone plus 5k and one Brace plus 10k. So this whole Arcanine is going to cost 93k. I feel like that's pretty good. This is going to end up being a competitive Arcanine for 93k, which I'd be pretty happy with if I wanted an Arcanine. Our Growlithe hatched. It cost us 93k to make this. Came out Adamant. Didn't high roll the HP. We actually low rolled the HP, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. Let's go see how much this will sell for. I don't know if this will actually be a problem. I think it'll be a cool, honestly, we should just start doing every single streamer every day or so. We should just do like a few breeds for profits on the Pokemon we need for the Alpha Dex and slowly work toward it. We have an important task ahead of us today, chat. We've got to order something or multiple things within the next few days, hopefully today. You guys earned, because of the factor subs, you guys earned the ability to spend $100 on the stream background. I'll buy whatever you guys want as long as it's not unhinged, okay? There's a little bit of a line. But here's the list of things we have so far. Jack Black cutout, British flag, something about One Piece, the anime, large rubber duck, a body pillow, that's, you know, toe on the edge, giant creeper head was one. Sure. And then shiny ponyta / rapidash painting, ninja taper fade poster, dancing cactus toy, buying RP for mysterious balls, or a framed $100 bill. These are the things on the docket. We got to vote today and figure this out, boys. Okay, fellas, I am pausing what we were doing for a very important little shmeem. I just got a whisper, okay? A whisper from Teresa. Hey, Patrouski, if you don't know, Teresa is the owner of the only party hat in PokeMMO. There's a vanity called the Party Hat. There's only one of them in the entire game. So it's considered by many to be the most rare, expensive. No one knows what it would cost because it's never been sold. It's technically priceless. But Teresa is the only person who owns one. Hey, Patrouski, do you happen to know of any wild 6IV non-alpha legendary Pokemon recently? This is a great question. So Teresa is a collector and a hyper endgame, like creme de la creme of PokeMMO collectors. I believe she is looking for full 6x31 odd wild Pokemon that don't get alpha boosted or legendaries. I have not seen any recently. I'm gonna let them know that if they're still on this a while ago. I'm sorry I missed this, but that's crazy. So basically what a 6x31 Pokemon, not alpha or not alpha, the odds of that, or not alpha or not legendary, the odds of it are like 1 out of a billion. It's one of the rarest things, I mean, in gaming probably. There are I know of one that's ever existed in Pokemon that I've ever seen. I don't even know if I know of another one. I only know of one. They're 1 in a billion. They're literally 1 in a, if you Google how rare is a perfect IV Pokemon or a 6x31 wild, I have a video that breaks down all the math. It's pretty crazy. So it's interesting to see that Teresa is looking for one. If you happen to have one, Teresa is looking in game. Maybe mail them, whisper them, or whatever. That's crazy. How many shiny Heatrans are there? It's a great question. I think there's like 2 that I know of. There might be a third that I think there's 2 or so that that's always, it's always up for like, oh, it's all I know, all I've seen. I believe I've seen 2. This is a good question I've been trying to answer a lot more frequently. I think I have a good answer for it nowadays. How long on average should things sell? Because I swear I have some crazy deals listed in like 4 days. I think anything that sells within like 3 days, or like maybe 3 to 5 is like a quick sell. Like that's like pretty fast in the Pokemon market because things are just very specific. Pokemon are so specific. I always say, if you list a rune longsword in old school RuneScape, that rune longsword is the same exact rune longsword as every other rune longsword on the Grand Exchange. In PokeMMO, if you list a Frillish, that Frillish is quite literally different than every single other Frillish on the market in some way, and someone is going to be looking for different Frillishes of different needs and varieties and breeds, and it's all very, very, very specific. So I think like a quick sale is like 3 to 5 days. In my opinion, a medium length sale would be like 1 to 2 weeks. And then I would say, I think usually a sale ends after, I believe, 2 to 3 weeks. It will like I think it depends on the price, but a sale will usually auto complete after 2 to 3 weeks. Like it will like fail or whatever. You have to collect and relist it. If you have to relist something, that's a long sale, I would say. And then if you have to relist something more than once, that's like a turbo long like sale. So like a shiny flip, you might need to list multiple times. Like I think shiny flips for me, on average, I probably list 2 times, maybe 2 to 3. Like those, they take a while, Okay, it seems like we're gonna spend $5 on a British flag because it's so cheap on eBay. That's an easy one. And then it seems like chat is deciding to spend the leftover $95 on a custom art piece we're gonna commission. Hopefully we can find someone to commission this for 95 bucks. They're deciding on now is what do we do? What is the art piece? Okay, some sort of custom PokeMMO wedding art piece between me and my wife has won in Twitch polls by a landslide. All right, boys, we're starting the new stream recap segment, okay? The movie takes You know, it's taking over the food take section of it. Patrouski classic movie recommendations. Dude, I'm already seeing people disagree with me in chat. I watched Passengers last night, the Jennifer Lawrence, Chris Pratt movie. I do not understand why people don't like this movie. I actually think this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. I actually don't. I could not fathom. There's like one or two. There's like a cringe line where at one point, I don't want to spoil shit. It's a really cool movie. It's a movie about they're in space. This is like in the trailer. It's not really a spoiler. But they're like in space, and they're passengers, and they're in like a cryo chamber. And at one point, you see something happens where like one of them wakes up or whatever, and Chris Pratt basically chooses, this is in the trailer, it's a mild spoiler alert, chooses to wake up Jennifer Lawrence, which basically like kills her, like damns her to death. But he wanted someone to hang out with. He was so lonely, you know. It's a crazy movie. It's a banger movie. I thought it was amazing. I think it explores a lot of moral dilemmas. Really beautiful movie. I couldn't believe GG Pat spoiled. This is literally in the trailer. It's literally in the. I gave a spoiler alert, and this is all information that's literally in the trailer. Now, trailers can throw a spoiler, which is fair, but like the whole movie is so much more than that and explores that and like them and their relationship. It's a banger movie. I recommend it. Passengers was amazing. I gave it a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. I think that's why people didn't like it, was that it's a little made out to be like a thriller, and it is a thriller. I don't know. It is a thriller action. It's a romance. At the end of the day, it's a romance movie. I think it's more than anything a romance. Above all genres, it's a romance movie. And I agree that people didn't really maybe know that going in. I watched it with my wife. I loved it. It was beautiful. I would give it a 5 out of 5. It has some weird implications. I kind of agree with like certain relationships, but I feel like overall it teaches some good memes. I think it's a beautiful movie. I really liked it. I thought Passengers was fucking amazing. I was really shocked to see all the bad reviews. There's a few critiques towards like Jennifer Lawrence, but I'm no fuck, what do I know? But like Jennifer Lawrence's acting in certain talking scenes is a little underwhelming, but her in any serious scenes is killer. You know, I loved it. I thought Passengers was amazing. I couldn't believe it averaged like a 2.9 star rating out of 5. I give it a 5 out of 5. I thought it was amazing. This is a good talking point. I'm still out here hoping the devs add the Sinnoh Underground. I'm not sure they could implement the capture the flag mechanics in the main series, but you press A in front of a player to steal the flag. It's kind of funny. I don't know anything about the Sinnoh Underground, but as a content creator who sees a lot of like requests and discussion in the community, I think the #1 most requested thing that is like a side piece of content in one of the regions is probably the Sinnoh Underground. I think the Sinnoh Underground gets talked about and requested the most out of any other side piece of content that I'm aware of. People seem to really, I don't know shit about it. People seem to really like it, and I feel like the devs like see that and they take note of that. Alrighty, fellas, it's reaching about that time. If I'm going to be on time to watch the Minecraft movie tonight in theaters, if you want to see my full review, I'm just kidding. Tomorrow, check out the stream. But thanks for watching, okay? Like the stream if you enjoyed it. Dislike if not. Subscribe for daily Pokemon videos every single day. Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday. But I will be live tomorrow. I should be live tomorrow and Saturday as well. I won't be live Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, but I'll be back Thursday. So it'll be a weird stream week, but I'm going on the first vacation with my wife, so I'm excited for that. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, Twitch Prime. You guys know. Just have a great day. Have a great play Pokemon. Have fun. Enjoy the games. Play the games you enjoy, and just have a good day, guys. I'll see you guys later. Peace, Reno. Yo, Patrouski here, and I wanted to thank you personally for watching the video until the very end. I really appreciate that. And if your name is on this list, thank you to the moon and back, because you allow me to even make these videos by supporting the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.